Send Melyssa real quick, get a little taste of this.
Whoa.
I said Melyssa.
Yeah, nah, you said a lot of this feel good. Hey, yo, sis. Ooh.
Stop, man.
Listen, I ain't. Yo, man, look like this.
It's lumber, yo.
The fact that Melyssa Ford is coming back was sort of revealed by the boys. Joe noticed that he was making changes to the poster in the pod area. Joe also mentioned that he has abandonment issues and misses Mel when they were chatting on the couch. Let's talk about that. The flip occurs. He keeps saying, "Hey girl, this is going to help your back," while he sits on the couch. "When you return, you won't have to worry about the cushion," essentially implying that she will be coming back. Does that sound like bad or good news? I'm not sure. I will not talk about that. I think you guys already know what I think about this. However, I would like to discuss what will change when she returns. Will Mel return, and will she continue to be the target of jokes? Will she continue to be bullied relentlessly? On the other hand, will she admit that everyone gets dogpiled on? Everyone receives their fair portion, even though it might not be as tenacious as hers. A lot of people understand. Mark is beginning to get more of it. Flip is currently the only individual who isn't getting it, even though they should. He's experiencing something. His wedding ring is in a box on his dresser. He just mentioned Flip is definitely experiencing it. In his earlier videos on his channel, which I've been viewing, he criticizes his cameraman. Because of his relationship with his son, he thinks that everyone he chooses to replace Junior is awful. Therefore, he's not just going through it with his lady. Then, when he was talking about the narrative in the last pod, I should have been listening. He mentioned that the children said, "Hey mom, dad is over here acting crazy." Thus, they remain on their mother's side. I'll just mention that Flip and his wife are going through it. I won't make too many assumptions, but the cast isn't focusing on him the way they would on Melyssa Ford. Thus, that is something they should focus on. In any case, will you all allow her to express her opinions if she returns? And furthermore, even though I acknowledge that she occasionally gets rambling, you shouldn't interrupt her every time she speaks. To come up with a solution and a conclusion, we must first recognize the contributions we were making, because otherwise we'll just keep bouncing back and forth. You cannot simply expect one person to change if they go and part ways and you all return. For this to work, you both need to adapt and make concessions. I want to know if they've had any meetings, if they've spoken to anyone, if there was an actual dispute behind the scenes, and whether Melyssa departed on her own initiative. Since I don't believe Joe put her on suspension, he would have said something himself, which is why I've been saying this for so long. If he had mentioned that she might be suspended or take a few days off, but she turned everything off. And everyone keeps telling me, well, before I get to this, Danny mentioned that someone in his comment section confirmed that she did accept being on the JBP, but she has some reservations after they saw Don't Call Me White Girl Mona perform live in North Carolina. Additionally, many of you left comments on my previous video which discussed Melyssa's upcoming tour and her plans to meet up with Mona in Philadelphia. Since it was in December, I didn't initially take anything seriously. But what if everyone is correct? What if everyone is correct?
Could this be a chemistry test? That, with you guys going on tour, is a big stage to be a chemistry test. But from what I've observed, the discussion tonight is shifting towards the idea that there may not even be a podcast anymore. Although I don't listen to their audios, from what I've seen on YouTube, they haven't even been posting their videos since Tripp departed, or they had their argument with Tripp. Therefore, I'm not sure if this is something new for them. Due to their attendance at InvestFest with Ish, they will immediately begin their tour and Melyssa will accompany them. All they're doing is bringing in new celebs, influencers, and podcasters. I'm not sure what their problem is, but this is the ideal moment to take the stage, perform a chemistry test, determine whether you guys truly have it, and then proceed. However, if such is the case, Mona is still hesitant because she is unsure of what to expect. Let's talk about Mona as well. What benefits may Mona expect from joining the JBP? And I'm not attempting to be critical of the arrangement here. I'm raising a serious question since, based on her current performance, she is comparable to the JBP on her own. Is this an exercise in brand building? Then does Mona plan to remain here for a long time? Does it still affect her and Breakbeat Media? That in of itself is a complete mess. However, you are well aware of my feelings for Mona, so that would be a fantastic addition. Additionally, Mona would be more willing to support Melyssa than any other person she has ever worked with if she and Melyssa could get along well. However, on the other hand, Mona is genuine, and she will quickly realize this. She can see through it. If Melyssa is being dishonest with her, she will expose it before any other man does. That one hence is a two-edged sword. However, it is essentially a given that Melyssa will return. Are we excited? Are we content? Do we believe that anything will change? In which direction do we envision the pod moving? Due to Joe's constant speech throughout this Emmy, I think that's really important because Melyssa appears to be getting plastered everywhere after obtaining that Gracie. She's being broadcast on Spotify, not televised, that is. They act as if they're promoting her. They're promoting her. She keeps track of every deal she does. She's making it known that she's doing these deals. She continues to release episodes and makes an effort to market and push them. Extremely interested in what's going on. However, I agree with many of us in the crowd that they were making fun of her for receiving the Gracie Award. For whatever reason, Joe is now vying for an Oscar. Naturally, that would support all of the metrics he ever considers. He'd be in a different realm. I'm not saying that there haven't been any Emmy-winning podcasts, but when was the last time you heard of one that would be huge? And whenever a hip-hop musician collaborates with a mainstream or country performer, they typically do a crossover. This would be his crossover. So we must be mindful of that moving forward. And he's taking it up even with his BTS, so I know he's going for it. The camera looks amazing, everything's evolving. So let's hope that Melyssa's return follows the path Joe desires, because we're all human in the end. I won't state that I want her off the pod as much as I once did. All of us are human. I may offer criticism without telling you to leave the show, and since I often do it to Flip, I know I can. I disagree that Flip should be removed from the show, and a large portion of the audience agrees, so I must extract a little bit of me-ism from this. But please share your thoughts about the return in the comments section. If you believe she is returning it, please let me know. Tell me if it's just a word service from them, please. But now that they're talking about her, things may be moving in a better direction. In any case, you all should go to Patreon. There are a few items I have there. I had another Lift Notion when talking about BTS. It's changing course now. I've been talking about my son's upbringing. We're moving in a different direction. I won't completely get off of that. I would like to inform everyone that today's episode will be distinct from the previous 5, but I'm grateful for all the support on that channel. All of the support on this channel is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy the video, please like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the page. You already know how we're rolling if you have. With us, you already know what it is. I'm just going to continue this. I'll see y'all a bit later. Comment.